5, boat 5, tower 1 with the mule, car 4, boat 5 is safety. Respond the area Souls Falls Dam for 1 in distress in the water. Repeat, engine 5, ambulance 5, boat 5, tower 1 with the mule, car 4, boat 5 is safety. In the area Souls Falls Dam, report of 1 in the water in distress. Tower 1, utility 1, UTV 1, you're responding.
Utility 1, continue all the way down to the entrance. Concord engine 5 to fire alarm.
Today we'd like to discuss water safety. It's a consideration for everybody because your life depends on it.
Concord engine 5 to fire alarm. Channel 5.
For the drill, go ahead, engine 5.
Station 5 is off on scene. We're going to be deploying the raft.
Good afternoon, Derek Kelleher, Battalion Chief with the Concord Fire Department. Approximately 10 people across the U.S. die every single day due to unintentional drownings. That's over 3,500 unintentional drownings a year. So we'd like to talk about a few hazards of the river. A lot of hazards on the river can be very unpredictable to most people. For example, moving water. The water is always stronger and faster than you think. It may look calm on the surface. It may look calm and very weak current. However, underneath it could be a strong undercurrent. The second hazard are water entrapments and obstructions that are underwater. Today you can see a lot of rocks and debris in the river. However, they are still there when the water level comes up and it's underneath, which can become entrapment hazards. For example, putting your feet down, if you get washed down river, you could possibly get trapped. Changing conditions. The water level and the current change depending on the season. Heavy rainfall in the area. There's also different current and depth step from step. Today, you could be swimming in an area, enjoying shallow water, calm water. The very next step you take could possibly be over your head with a strong current. The last hazard is cold water. The water here is colder than you think. Oftentimes in New Hampshire, the majority of the year, the water is considered cold water, which will affect your ability to swim and self-rescue.
We'll be deploying UTV 1.
Fire alarm copies, tower 1, you're on scene. All companies, go to channel 5. All companies, channel 5. So over here, the crew has decided, because of the water conditions, they are leaving the boat with the motor on it, and they are deploying the raft to paddle through the conditions. Mike, they're going to roll in and deploy the secondary watercraft.
Left one will be headed to the north side.
Yeah.
Paramedic, ambulance, driver, stop.
So we have the off-road vehicle here. The mule is heading down the trail. They also have an inflatable boat on the back there that they're going to deploy as a backup crew, secondary, and come from below the reported area. Fear in the open water is a very normal reaction. Maybe you don't know what's beneath you and it causes some fear. Maybe you don't know how cold the water is, or the current is not what you were predicting. So fear in the water is a very normal response. So number one, take control of your breathing and control it, and try to avoid this panic situation. Normal panic feeling, if you know that it will pass, it'll give you a better chance to fight through the situation you're in. Know that it will pass, learn to relax. So we can manage this fear and we can take steps to overcome and avoid the panic situation, which is a very common factor in drowning. What we have here is our swift water kit and our PPE that crew members would be donning before making entry. For example, colder water,
Command 05, Cap Disco.
extended operations in the river.
05 answering.
It provides extra protection.
Cap for the drill and find you safety. Yeah, firefighter Keeler with you.
We can have a thermal layer in there. Everything's covered. For the most part, they'll have safety shoes on. They'll have a life jacket, helmet, a couple other accessories that he'll be donning to make a rescue.
Be safety Alpha, firefighter Keeler, safety Bravo.
Stay where you are.
And on the incident command side of it, like he said, you're painting a picture for him. So you're trying to help him do his job. So getting eyes on whatever the situation is and remembering that's important not only to you, you know what's going on, it's in front of you, so it's important for you to relay that back right from the get-go. Maybe there's potential multiple patients in the water. Okay, do we need to get another ambulance en route? Do we need to get another boat? Benchmarks, longer incidents, tower crew, you set out on the mule, you're in position, like giving that benchmark that you're now entering. Because it's easy to get so task-minded that you take off and do your operation, but it's important for you to share key points that it's important for everyone else to know. So for RAF 5 to know, okay, we got a safety downstream. If something doesn't work out just right here, we have a problem with our boat or motor, I know there's a safety right there and you can start communicating. Very good. So Ryan now would be ready to go assist with all his personal protective equipment. Excellent. Thanks, Ryan. So one thing we want to talk about here is the chain of drowning survival. Recognize the signs of when somebody's in trouble and shout for help. Not everybody is playing or failing in the water, so just make sure before you dismiss that somebody's in trouble or not, that you recognize that if they are in trouble. If you're going to make a rescue somebody in the water, make sure you're not putting yourself in danger. Ask somebody to call for help, to call for emergency services. If you find that you are alone and you're giving care or making a rescue, give care with hands-only CPR or rescue breathing for 2 minutes prior to calling for help if you find yourself alone. Begin rescue breathing and CPR or hands-only CPR as soon as possible on a drowning victim or patient. Use an AFD if available prior to transfer to care to advanced life support. For Station 5 rolling in here, we kind of monitor the condition of the river, so you knew what to expect today. It's important sometimes to do a quick recon. What is the most appropriate piece of equipment to deploy? Are we putting the boat in when we shouldn't be and we know we're not going to get anywhere? These are all decisions that you start making when you're first due. Okay, maybe the raft is more beneficial. Maybe you heard, the tower wasn't in quarters and you know you're going to need a second boat. These are important things for the company officers to be aware of because you know where our equipment is.
I think it was challenging for us. We were in, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago? And the river, we always say it always changes. It's drastically changed. It's very low now. We got hung up on 3 or 4 rocks that we would have never got hung up on last week. So it was just challenging, trying to figure out those conditions today and then make it work for us.
Got the banana boat in position as to safety. Like the captain just said, we kept eyes on them the whole time, kept eyes on the victim, and positioned ourselves just in case we needed to get up a little closer up into the rapids and if the victim actually came down. And once they made the grab, we still kept eyes on them and just backed out of the way.
It takes time for emergency personnel. It takes time to receive notification by the time somebody calls for help. It's going to take time to respond, and it's also going to take time for emergency personnel to locate. That's why it's important to know exactly where you are when you do call for help. Otherwise, it may take additional time. We may be tracking coordinates through 911, through cell phone tracking. We may be going off of clues. If you can say you see something on the background, we're trying to piece it together. So it is going to take time to locate. The other thing that's going to take time is access. Is there access for emergency personnel? Are we launching a boat because that's our best access? Are we launching an off-road vehicle to go down into a trail? Are we setting up a rope system and lowering rescue personnel down directly in the area? So it's going to take time to access. It's going to take time to stabilize any patients or victims. It's going to take time to treat them. It's going to take time to extricate and transport anybody for further care. So remember, it takes time for personnel, so we ask you to stay safe, avoid the common causes of drowning, learn how to swim, learn various techniques in the water, and learn CPR. So some important water safety tips for everybody to consider. The use of PFDs and life jackets. Don't be a drowning statistic. Use your PFD, have them available. Learn how to swim. Learn how to swim in moving water, learn different techniques, learn how to float, learn how to aggressively swim, learn CPR. It could save a life while waiting for help. Avoid alcohol and drugs before and during time spent in and around the water, and use a buddy system. Don't ever go swimming alone.
Allenstown Rescue 2 responding. Rescue 2, you can proceed to the scene and secure. Absent engine 1 on scene.
Banana Boat 1, why don't you start moving up in? Over on our right, Mike, we do have the backup crew.
Final answering Pittsfield, Catamount Road, Savannah. Affirmative.
We're certainly thinking about it up there at the command post, the whole patient care piece of it. You know, what's it going to look like once you reach your destination? How are we going to package? How are we going to transport? How are we going to treat? So if there's something, you know, from your end of it, you know that you're going to make a rescue here and end up here, then share that with us and we'll get EMS staged in the most appropriate place. You're thinking about it, we're thinking about it.
Command from Boat 1. Go ahead, Boat 1.
Boat 5 has secured the patient. They have them with them, bring them downstream. We'll wait to hear for patient condition from them.
Command has it. Boat 5 has the victim making their way downstream to ALS. Boat 5 to come in. Boat 5 to command, channel 5. Command answer, Boat 5. Boat 5 has made the rescue, secured the patient in the boat. The patient is conscious and alert. We're making our way out to the UTV now. Command has it. You've made contact and rescued the victim, making your way downstream to where the UTV put in. Can you just confirm with that subject to make sure they were the only one in distress? Boat 5 to command, single victim. Command has a single victim. Thank you.
So a few things that you need to ask yourself before heading out to enjoy the water recreationally, whether you're with a big crowd, small crowd, there's a couple of important questions to ask. Does everyone in your group have a personal flotation device? Does everyone have a life jacket? Do you know where you are in the name of your location? For example, do you know the common name of this beach area? Do you know if there is access for public safety if help is requested? Can they get to you in a timely fashion? Do you know the specific hazards in an area? For example, do you know the obstructions here? Do you know if there is a strong current behind us? Do you know the varying depth level of the area you're swimming in? It may seem shallow, and the very next step you take is over your head. Do we know the swimming ability of everybody with you? If you're going out with a group of friends, you certainly do not want to put anyone in a bad area who's not comfortable swimming. So these are questions that you need to ask ahead of time and know the ability of everybody with you, their ability to swim. And do you have a swim buddy? These are important questions to ask before you enjoy time on the water. So we are fortunate here in New Hampshire to have so many beautiful bodies of water that we can enjoy recreationally. All we ask is that you stay safe and learn any life-saving skills that you can to keep yourself safe and anyone else around you. Thank you. Stay safe.